Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. I'm in the office taking care of business, paying bills as usual, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Hope you guys are going to grind forward for the rest of the week. A couple more days, then it'll be the weekend. It is hot here. I got the AC going in the office, fans going. I'm still sweating. Just got to deal with it. It's 190 degrees out here in Florida. I feel like we're living on the sun. Let's philosophize a little bit. Do a thought experiment. What would a successful life look like for you? Really think about it. Detail it out. Now, you want to be somewhat realistic. You may have aspirations of being the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You might want to bring yourself just a little bit down to earth. You may have fantasies of living in a house the size of 3 shopping malls, owning those kinds of mega mansions all over the world. Good luck. I'm not going to say you can't do that, but good luck. You might want to be a little bit realistic. But there's nothing wrong with having lofty goals, and you can think about the most successful version of you. And I'm not just talking about money. A lot of people in America, when we think about success, we instantly think dollar signs, bank accounts, that kind of stuff, wealth. And sure, there's an aspect of wealth that comes along with success, but I look at success as a stage of survival, where you're not really struggling to survive in the way that you did when you were in poverty, or someone does when they're in poverty. To have a life that's not such a tormenting nightmare. However, some people that live in these opulent castles in gated communities, and they have everything so easy, they go hire people like David Goggins to put them through torture because they need to self-induce some pain. We find our strength on the other side of struggle. So I'm just trying to lay some groundwork for you to think about what success is in a realistic way, but also to let yourself have an open mind and to imagine the greatest, grandest version of you. Now that we're open to that idea of success, a lifestyle of success, not just a moment, not just a temporary lottery win, but a lifestyle, think about what type of person you would be living that life. Who are you as a successful person? So I made a little list that I jotted down real quick. Let's just go over it. The first thing is discipline. If you want to have a successful life, a lifestyle of success, that you're going to have to become a highly disciplined person. This means, basically you're going to have to do stuff that you have to do, but you don't want to do. I mean, that's what discipline is. And you're going to have to create some order for yourself, create some rules for yourself, and follow them. And that's what a disciplinarian does. That's what your boss does, maybe your father did, and maybe you don't like it. You're going to have to do this for yourself, and that's really hard. To be disciplined, to have self-discipline, is incredibly hard. Go look at fat people, go look at drug addicts. There's a lot of people that have absolutely no discipline. Some people spend money, they can't even hold on to it. The second they get it, and they know they desperately need to save it, they can't. They're on Amazon or eBay buying useless bullshit, always. So you may need to have some discipline. Start waking up early. Do the same thing every day, basically. Go to work, be productive. Start making lists and crossing them off, and you'll find yourself with this repetition, like at the gym. If you want to be in good shape, and we're going to talk about health next, you have to have some discipline for it. You can't just go once. You got to go every day for years and years and years. And who's going to make you do that? I'm not coming over there to chase you down and drag you out of your house, hold you at gunpoint and say, do it. Put a gun in your mouth and say, another bench press or you're dead. No, you got to do it. So that's the first one on the list, is a highly disciplined lifestyle. The next one, let's talk about health. If you want to be successful and live a successful life, I personally believe that you have to be healthy. You have to include health in that dream. Now, if we think of success purely as being rich, obviously there's lots of fat rich people. There's lots of really out of shape, disgusting rich people. So that's why I want to expand to this idea of success and a successful lifestyle to just beyond your bank account and your earning potential. I think having a long life, to be strong, is an aspect of success. And that means you're going to have to eat well, you're going to have to work out, you're going to have to get some strength training, some cardio. You're going to have to study some of this stuff, be open-minded. You may have to get a trainer, you may have to ask your doctor, go see a nutritionist. I've done all these things. So a healthy lifestyle is part of a lifestyle of success. Another one, let's talk about religion, and I know that's kind of a toxic word, so let's call it spirituality, because I don't necessarily believe that you have to be a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim in order to be successful or to have a lifestyle of success. But what I do believe is that you have to have a mountaintop to meditate on. You have to have a leather-bound book of some kind. You have to have an altar of some kind to proselytize yourself, to bend down and kneel down and to worship in front of, to put yourself in the hierarchy of this universal energy where you're not the boss of the world. You're not the creator. You're just an animal on this planet, and that's very humbling, and that's very spiritual. So it's good to get into this stuff, and I'm trying to talk vague on purpose because I'm not trying to convince anyone to be a Christian or to follow any one thing. That's up to you. Whatever music you like is up to you. But the point is find a tune and listen to that every single day. Get spiritual daily. Take it seriously. If people laugh at you, those aren't your people. Another aspect of being successful and living a lifestyle of success, I believe, is having a creative outlet and really diving into that creative outlet to the point of where it almost overtakes you. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of being dramatic and exaggerating a little bit, but be a painter who is obsessed with painting. Be a musician who loves to play music and to create music. And you don't even need an audience. You could sit at home with your acoustic guitar playing songs all night and you love it. I write books. That's my latest thing. I've been building custom motorcycles. That was a creative outlet for mine long before I even started the shop. That's a good way to start a business, is find your creative outlet and go start a business around it. I realized I could build motorcycles all day long, never get tired of it. I could put in 10, 14-hour days and never feel like it's slave labor. So find a creative outlet. I'm working on the third book in the Syndicate series. I know I've been telling you guys that I've finished the series, and I thought I did. But I reread the third book, and I realized, well, there's not only a few things and a few chapters that I want to change, but there's a new dimension to the story that I wanted to add, and that's going to change most of the end of the story. So it's time to dive back into it. This is draft number 8. 8 drafts. I remember in literature class, they tell you to do 3 drafts. I'm doing 8. But find a creative outlet. Another aspect of living a lifestyle of success, because that's what we're talking about. We're trying to imagine what this lifestyle of success would be. The ultimate life, the greatest, grandest version of you. What would that be, and who would you be? Well, you'd be a leader. You absolutely would. You're not going to be a follower. You won't be a slave. You won't be some cog in somebody else's machine. You'll be the boss, or a boss. Influential. You'll be able to mentor. People will look to you and say, wow, you're so successful. Can you teach me? You'll be a teacher. So think about different aspects of leadership and where you might fall into it and what those roles look like and how to be a good leader. You're entering your royal season. You're going to be a king. You may already be one. Be a good king. And the last thing that I could think of as far as living a lifestyle of success, and this is why it's last, because it may not be as important, but I like this, is to embrace tradition. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to live in the past or be some Civil War recreationist. Some people, they have an obsession with the past and they try to dress and act and talk and drive a car and live like they're in 1930 or something. And that's a weird fetish. But there's nothing wrong with tradition. This is one of my complaints and critiques of postmodernism, is they seem to be very anti-tradition. I think tradition is very helpful. It's a good guide. There's some things that work and that are worth doing. There's some things that your father taught you that you need to do and that you should be teaching your son, and that hopefully he teaches his son if he has one. So I think it's a good thing to end off with here, and to think about what this lifestyle of success would be. It would be a life where we embrace a certain part of tradition and create traditions for our family. Food for thought.